Can't you see we're at Mass?
Can't you see we are at Mass?
Can't you see we are at Mass?
Can't you see we're at Mass?
Back to the mill. Ho!
Praise be to our Lord Jesus.
Stop! Brother? What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
I definitely was there. I did come a little late, so perhaps no one noticed me.
Really? This time I'll look the other way. But next time, you won't get out of being punished.
Can't you see we're at Mass? Not now, brother. After Mass. Not now, brother. After Mass.
I'm a new brother, a novice, Gregor. I don't know my way around here yet. You're in charge of the whole monastery, aren't you?
Welcome amongst us. Yes, yes. The Lord wanted me to take over the abbot's duties in his absence, but mainly I'm a servant of God, just like you and all the other brethren. Before God, there's no difference between us. How do you like it here?
I don't know yet. Haven't been here long.
Well, you're too humble. I'm sure you must have some opinion, but I won't pry it out of you.
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book.
The words mean nothing to me. Ask in the library.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Can you tell me something about the rule of St. Benedict?
7 centuries ago, St. Benedict of Nursia wrote a collection of monastic rules which we still follow today. They're read at every meal. The fundamental precepts are obedience, work, and prayer. We're fully devoted to serving God. The outside world beyond the monastery walls is foreign to us.
Do you never want to know what's going on out there?
And what should be going on? The sky is just as blue and the grass is just as green. Perhaps the rulers change, but the greatest ruler of them all will remain unchanged through the ages.
What can you tell me about the novices here?
What can I say? You're here to demonstrate your devotion to God and to live a monastic life. After a year, you can make your vows and become a fully fledged brother.
I meant something specific about the brothers that are here.
But you know them yourself. Yodok is an odd one, but he's diligent and eager, perhaps too eager. Siskin is good company, but a bit too worldly for a monk. Antonius is hard-working and will help with anything, but prays less than he ought. Lucas is as quiet as a mouse, and no one knows much about him. And then we have you, about who I know nothing.
Silence, or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read.
What's that you're carrying?
What's that you're carrying around? And why?
Let none ere be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear.
Greetings, brother. I'm Gregor, and I'm new here.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yodok, the oldest of the novices. I hope you'll like it here in the monastery and that you won't get into trouble.
Trouble?
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the order. I suggest you get to know the older monks. You never know when it might come in handy.
For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will,
I'm interested in the other novices.
necessarily with his lips, but simply in his heart,
Do you know anything about Antonius?
he fulfills
Only that he came to the monastery voluntarily, because he didn't want to work in his father's shop.
who sees
Antonius is all right. You can rely on him. He won't betray your confidence. He's always happy to help, which is more than can be said for the other brothers.
unless he amend and make satisfaction.
Listen, there's something I ought to tell you.
Readings on
There's a
the
dangerous criminal hiding in the monastery, and I came here to look for him.
Ha! I knew it! He's a villain. Who are you, though? Oh, it's better not to ask, isn't it? It's always safer not to ask.
Never mind that. Who's a villain?
That's Siskin. I always thought he was an odd one, the way he carries on. But now it makes perfect sense. He's a criminal fleeing justice.
What are you talking about? You clearly know something I don't.
I'm telling you, keep your eye on him. He's no monk. That's what my gut tells me. And my gut's never wrong. What are you going to do to that fellow once you find him?
Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one
I don't know yet.
finds better in good works. Or
You should talk to the circators or the prior about it. Not act on your own.
offenders, but since he has the authority, let him cut out.
Can you
those
tell me
wrongs
something about
by the
yourself?
roots, as
I
soon
would
as
if there was anything noteworthy to say. But I'm just the ordinary son of a landowner, now a monk.
the well
There's nothing in my past, present, or future that anyone could find interesting.
Why did you join the monastery?
bold, hard
Because it was better than living in poverty.
characters,
As the youngest son, I'm not entitled to inherit my father's estate. But he was kind enough to sell off some cattle and send me here. And you know what? I'm glad to be here. It's better than mucking out manure.
and again, beat your son with the rod, and you will
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says.
Who would you vote for as the new abbot if you could?
My ways.
Why do you care? We don't have the right to vote, so we shouldn't get mixed up in it.
I'm just interested, that's all.
I like John better. But like I've said, it's not our place to get involved. It's enough that Antonius is mixed up in it. Don't you start too.
So much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil works. Therefore, since this
What is it, brother?
so important, permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it be good, holy, edifying.
It occurred to me you might be the man to ask. I'm looking for some lockpicks. Do you know anyone in the monastery who could help me?
Lockpicks? You surprise me, brother. And you, a nobleman's son. But you could ask Brother Celerius. They say he used to be a thief.
For that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence.
I need to make a confession.
I'm no priest, but tell me what you've done. It's probably nothing to worry about.
I'm here in the monastery looking for a thief. He had a hand in burning down the Neuhof stud.
You don't say. And who are you to take such an interest?
Readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says.
That's not important.
Why are you telling me this anyway? What do you want from me?
Perhaps you could help me find him?
The missing thief? If I knew anything, I'd tell you, but I suppose it must be one of the novices. I've only recently heard about the Neuhof incident, and all the other brethren have been here much longer than that.
I know. Aside from me, there are only 4 novices, but still, I don't know which one he could be.
3? Please, leave me out of it. And you're right that it could be any one of them. No one knows anything about Lukas. Siskin might be a lot of things, but a monk isn't one of them. And Yodok is a slimy worm. It wouldn't surprise me if he was behind that massacre. Actually, the more I think about it, the less I like that Yodok. He's a treacherous rat who'd do anything to get in someone's good books. The thought of Yodok at Neuhof sends chills up my spine.
Maybe you're right. It's not a pretty thought. Thanks for your help, and please don't say a word to anyone.
Don't fret, my friend. Your secrets are locked inside my lips.
And for such conversation, we do not permit a disciple to open his mouth. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says. I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I have set guards
Gregor,
to my mouth.
talk to me.
I was mute and was humble.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of silence ought to lead us at times to refrain even from good speech.
Can you
So
leave
much
the monastery?
more ought the
Where would you go?
sin
You have everything you need here.
words.
Anyway, all the doors here are closed and locked tight, so no one can get in or out.
Permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it be for good, holy, edifying conversation. For it is written, in much speaking you will not escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciples' parts be silent and listen. For that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
inspired by reverence. But as for coarse jests and idle words or words that move to laughter,
I'm looking for something a little, unorthodox.
And what would that be exactly?
a disciple to open his mouth.
I'm looking for lockpicks.
Lock picks? And what would you like those for?
I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not.
I'd like to practice opening locks, just for the fun of it.
Well, why not?
And was humbled and kept
So you heard I used to be a burglar, did you?
here.
I put it all behind me as soon as I took the vows. But I do have a few lockpicks left. I'll trade them for food. Get me a bite to eat, and you can have your lockpicks. Can't say fairer than that, can I?
In much speaking, you will not escape sin. And in another, death and life are in the power of the tongue.
My name's Gregor, a novice.
Teaching belong to
You can
the
call me
master,
Siskin.
the disciples'
Now,
part.
are you here of your own free will, or is this a punishment?
For that reason, if anything has
Although
to be
it's not
asked of the
important.
superior, it
Welcome
should
to
be asked with
purgatory.
all
Did you say purgatory?
You'll see soon enough. Soon enough.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
Look, nothing against you, but I prefer not to talk about my past.
Are you hiding something? Why are you so reluctant to tell me anything about yourself?
I'm hiding a lousy past that I'd rather forget. I hate to think of all I lost when they stuck me in here. And also because I really hate the question, aren't you the son of the famed Sir Smil Flashka of Pardubitz? I was rich and I had everything. But then my father began to feel his time approaching, so he decided to send a son to the monastery. And, being the youngest, the lot fell on me. I've no head for managing the estate, and they said I'd squander it. Can you imagine? Me, in a monastery. So I took what coin I could from home with me, so I didn't lose out completely.
In much speaking, you will not escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power.
What's your plan with this treasure?
To get out of here as soon as I can. I'll wait another year or two until my hot-headed brothers cool off a bit, and then I'll take the silver and run off somewhere, far, far away from here.
But you didn't have to come here if you didn't want to.
No, not if I didn't mind being left to beg alms by the city gate. I had one choice, the monastery or nothing. If it had come to that after my father's death, so be it. But to get rid of me while he's still alive?
Let us do what the prophet says.
They must have realized you robbed them.
I donated some of the silver to the monastery when I came in, just to piss them off. I can just see my brothers, my siblings, arguing with the abbot to give it back.
And you stashed away the remainder?
Indeed so.
So much the more of the punishment.
That's all I wanted to know.
Please, keep it to yourself. Especially the part about the coin.
Permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples.
There's something I should tell you. Something you won't be happy to hear. I'm here to find someone, and, well, to do away with him. But listen, it's not murder. Not when it's a man like him. He's one of the brigands who burned down Neuhof. He doesn't deserve to live.
What's he doing here? And who are you?
They call him pious because he used to be a priest. When he found out a lot of people were after him, he hid away here. And as you can see, escaped suspicion. They sent me here to find him and bring him to justice. He's one of the novices.
So we have one outlaw and one assassin in our midst. This place is a lot more exciting than I expected. Do you know who it is?
Well, that's just it.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says. I said, I will
No, but I hope I'll track him down soon. If you find any clue that could lead me to him...
I swear I don't know anything. Except that I'm not the one you're looking for.
Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of
I won't tell you more. And I'd like you to keep silent about this too.
You're talking about killing in the monastery. I really should report it.
Evil words. Therefore, since the spirit of silence is so important,
Would you do that? I have a feeling you wouldn't.
You're right. I'll keep it to myself. I've got problems enough of my own without involving myself in yours. And besides, I mean to be gone from here within a year, so why should I care what happens with the monastery?
Thank you, Siskin. I appreciate it.
For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciples' part is to be silent and to listen.
How is it that you don't get any penance for missing morning prayers?
I've paid off the circators to turn a blind eye. And the other monks don't notice as long as you show your face there from time to time. No one's too awake at that time of the morning.
These we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban.
I'm still curious about this treasure trove of yours.
It's no big terrible secret. Really, it isn't. I just go and read during services. There's no time otherwise. I mean, at other times I don't get to read what I like. And I keep it under the slab so the others don't find it.
That is to say,
What kind of a book is it?
that is good and holy.
I found it here in the library. It was on a shelf where it should never have been. So I hid it to read later. It's the Necronomicon. Ghosts, demons, and invocations of powers beyond our world. Only it's written in a strange language that I can't really make sense of. all bara this and bara that.
and should know that
Who knows what it means?
is submitted.
I tried to count the syllables, read the words backwards, but nothing. I'm not getting anywhere with it.
Oh, I'm not too sure what the prior or the cicada would say about a book like that. Actually, what anyone would say. It sounds quite prohibited.
Prejudice. But you're right, it is prohibited. For no good reason, though. Has knowledge ever done anybody any harm?
Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of Silence.
You're right. Knowledge should never be prohibited.
I'm glad you agree. Just take a look at the book. Maybe you'll be able to make some sense of it. I haven't grasped a single syllable. Just please don't tell anyone about the book. If the brothers learn that I took it from the library and hid it, I'll be in a lot of trouble. Our brothers' minds are closed to a thirst for knowledge.
Your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of Saint Benedict.
I'll leave you be. Don't worry, I won't follow you again.
Thank you. And please, Gregor, don't mention it to anyone.
Nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell, and the glory of life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered. Very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation, delay, warmness.
I'm Gregor, a novice. I saw you at the ceremony.
Peace be with you.
I know. It was hard not to notice you.
And you are?
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I don't want to talk to you. I'm happiest alone.
Yet his work will not be acceptable to God.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's nothing I can tell you.
I mean, where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that sort of thing.
I'm a novice, and my monastic name is Lucas. Nothing else matters.
Readings on humility. The first degree
Come
of
on.
humility is
Is there really nothing at all you can tell me?
I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I want to stay focused on work and prayer, not on who I once was. I never will be again. What has been isn't important for us. We cast the past aside when we walked through the monastery gates and took our oath. Never forget that.
There's something I should tell you. Something secret. I'm looking for someone here in the monastery.
You're looking for someone? But you're a novice, aren't you?
I am a novice. At least until I find the man I'm looking for.
Why would you be looking amongst monks? You know, the laws of man aren't valid here. In the cloister, we're subject to divine law, the law of the church.
I'm looking for a footpad who's hiding out here in the monastery. He had a hand in raising the Neuhoff farm. He's taken many lives.
I heard something about that. But why are you telling me all this?
Because you could help me. It has to be one of the other novices.
That can't be. Have you told the prior? What are you going to do to this man once you find him?
idleness is the enemy of the soul.
I don't know yet.
Brethren should be occupied at
It won't be easy to drag this criminal away from the protection of the cloister. Unless the abbot gives his blessing. But I still can't believe it.
Do you have any idea which of the novices could be the impostor I'm looking for?
I don't know, and I don't care to know. I wish you'd never told me. Now I won't be able to sleep at night.
From the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
Hour having left the table, let them rest on their beds.
Well, that's all. Thank you for your time, brother.
Anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned